You sleep 7 hours, but every morning your body feels heavy. Your mind is foggy. No insomnia, no disease, just exhaustion. Sound familiar? In today's longevity tale, we step into the quiet world of shallow sleep, where the hours look fine but the healing never comes. Dr. Kenji, I sleep 7 hours every night, but I wake up feeling like I've just stepped out of an unfinished dream. My body's heavy. My mind is cloudy. I don't understand. What am I missing? That's what Susan, 67, a once-energetic elementary school teacher from California, told me during a consultation at my clinic. She had no heart disease, no anemia, no signs of depression. There was no obvious reason for her all-day fatigue, except one. Her sleep no longer healed her. Sleep used to be magic. In our younger years, 6 or 7 hours was enough to wake up fresh, with a clear head, a strong body, and a steady heart. But after 60, something changes. You go to bed at the same time, you lie in the same bed, you rise with the same sun, but you wake up feeling like you never truly rested. Susan's story isn't unique. In over 40 years of practicing medicine in both Japan and the United States, I've heard the same quiet question from hundreds of older adults. I don't have insomnia, so why do I still feel so tired all the time? According to the National Institutes of Health, over 50% of Americans over 60 report getting enough hours of sleep, yet still don't feel restored. They call it fatigue, but what's really behind it is shallow sleep. So today, I'll guide you gently into this misunderstood condition. We'll explore the subtle reasons sleep loses its healing power after 60, the overlooked clues that your body is resting, but not recovering, and most importantly, the quiet, proven ways to bring back the kind of sleep that actually restores. Because if each morning you rise simply existing, not truly living, perhaps it's not you that's failing. It's your sleep. And the good news is, healing is still within reach. All it takes is knowing where to look. Here's something few people ever explain. Sleeping for enough hours doesn't mean you're sleeping the right way. And after 60, sleeping the right way becomes much harder than it used to be. You might lie down at 10 p.m. and rise at 6 a.m., a full 8 hours. But if your brain never enters deep sleep, the phase where real healing happens, then even 9 hours will leave you drained. In our youth, we could simply close our eyes, and our body took care of the rest. But now, after 60, you must become the guide for your own sleep. I call this quiet struggle the shallow sleep syndrome. It sneaks in when your body no longer produces enough melatonin, the hormone that carries you into deep sleep. When chronic pain, late-night worries, or simple habits gently push you away from the body's healing zone. When your circadian rhythm slips out of tune with the light, the clock, and the deeper rhythms of your emotions. And sadly, most people live with this for years without knowing. They think, I'm just old, of course I'm tired, or I sleep 8 hours, so I must be fine. Some even turn to sleeping pills that sedate the body but never restore it. But here's the quiet truth. Healing sleep is still possible even after 60. You don't need more hours. You need the right kind of sleep. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the stories of 3 very real people, each once lost in exhaustion, each now resting with peace. They didn't just age, they came back to life. 3 restless sleepers, 3 quiet awakenings, but none of them realized they were sleeping wrong until they learned to sleep differently. Let me take you through their journeys. First, there was Susan, a disciplined woman who had lost her sunrise. Susan Thompson, 67, was a retired elementary school teacher from Santa Rosa, California. She never stayed up late. She got her 7 hours. Ate a good breakfast, sipped herbal tea before bed. She believed she was living well, but every morning felt wrong. She woke up groggy, her heart raced. Her body felt like stone. She still walked, still took her vitamins, still played with her grandchildren, but deep down she knew something was missing. "It's like I'm living inside a fog," she said. One Saturday afternoon, Susan attended a small wellness seminar at her local senior community center in Santa Rosa. The topic that day was natural ways to support sleep after 60, and one part caught her attention: how melatonin levels decline with age. That simple insight led her to book an appointment with me the very next week. Simple tests revealed the truth. She wasn't entering deep sleep, despite keeping a perfect schedule. The causes: blue light from her iPad, which she used for evening news, and one innocent nightly ritual, a glass of wine after dinner, both silently disrupted her melatonin cycle. We made small but powerful changes. No screens an hour before bed. Swapped wine for warm ginger tea. Early morning sunlight exposure. 3 weeks later, Susan returned to my office, clear-eyed, light-hearted, and for the first time in years, happy to greet the morning. Next there was John, a man whose dreams kept cutting short. John Miller, 70, was a retired truck driver from Texas. He'd grown used to restless nights. Choppy sleep was just how life had always been. But in retirement, things worsened. He'd sleep 8 hours, then fall asleep again at the lunch table. His wife noticed loud snoring, pauses in his breathing. A sleep study confirmed what neither of them had considered: sleep apnea, a condition so common among seniors yet so rarely addressed. We began CPAP therapy. At first, it felt uncomfortable, but within a week, John said something that stayed with me. "I didn't just sleep, I became myself again." And then there was Linda, a former nurse facing her fears in silence. Linda Walters, 73, had been a nurse for 4 decades. She understood medicine, understood pills, but she couldn't understand why she still tossed and turned every night, her body pain-free, her room peaceful. She came to me after trying every over-the-counter remedy. But our conversations uncovered something deeper: quiet anxiety, worries about aging, about getting sick, about growing old alone. I connected her with a senior meditation group at her local library and gave her a few gentle breathing practices to do each night. No pills, just rhythm, and kindness toward her inner voice. A month later, she mailed me a letter. "My sleep isn't perfect, but I no longer go to bed afraid, and in the morning I smile even if I'm the only one in the kitchen." 3 lives, 3 lost rhythms, 3 journeys back to rest. And all began the same way: by realizing that just because you sleep doesn't mean your body is healing. So now that you've heard their stories, let's step into what might be the most important part of this journey: understanding why sleep after 60 so often feels like rest without recovery. You may have slept 7 hours last night, but if I asked you how many of those hours were truly restorative, could you answer? For most people over 60, the truth is quietly unsettling. It's not how long you sleep, it's what happens inside your sleep that matters. Let's take a deeper look into the invisible forces that turn your night into either healing or hidden exhaustion. Let's start with the brain. As we age, the brain no longer produces delta waves, the slow, rhythmic signals that guide us into deep sleep, as consistently as it once did. These waves are essential. They're what allow your body to detox, to repair, to rebuild. According to research from UC Berkeley in 2023, adults over 65 generate up to 70% fewer delta waves than those in their 20s. In simple terms, you're sleeping, but your body isn't healing. So if you've ever woken up with a dry mouth, a dizzy head, or struggled to recall a name, you might not be just aging. You might simply be missing the one sleep stage that restores your brain. And it's not just about the brain. Deep sleep is the time when your liver flushes toxins, your heart slows down and reduces pressure, and your brain clears out waste proteins like beta amyloid, the same compound linked to Alzheimer's. In fact, a 2022 study in Nature Aging found that poor quality sleep raises dementia risk in seniors by 32%. So when you lose deep sleep, you don't just feel tired, you lose your body's last natural line of defense against decline. But here's the real trap, and the reason so many seniors are quietly struggling. Most people don't realize they're sleeping wrong. They think 7 hours is enough. But ask yourself, do you drift off in the middle of the day without meaning to? Do your dreams feel short, chaotic, or jarring? Do you wake up several times each night for no clear reason? Do you rise in the morning with no hunger, even after fasting all night? If the answer is yes to any of these, you're not entering the deep recovery phase. You're merely skimming the surface of sleep, like trying to charge your phone with a loose cable. The connection isn't there, and this isn't just personal, it's societal. According to the CDC, more than 56% of seniors in the U.S. say they sleep enough, but still feel tired. Yet only 1 in 10 ever seek the real cause. We blame stress, weather, aging itself. But few people stop to ask, what if it's my sleep that's failing me, not my age? In a world obsessed with 7 hours, no one explains how to make those hours heal again. And that's why this matters. Because now you understand what shallow sleep really is. You see what it's stealing. You recognize that it isn't about sleep time, it's about sleep depth. So the question becomes, what now? In the next chapter, I'll guide you step by step through 5 simple, science-backed changes that can gently bring you back to the rhythm your body has been craving. Because sleep doesn't just belong to the young, it belongs to you too. Imagine waking up without an alarm clock, without pills, just a smile because your body truly rested. Deep sleep isn't a luxury. It's a biological power you once had and can still reclaim. Let's explore 5 gentle habits that help you fall asleep naturally, sleep deeper, and wake up with life in your veins again. First, reset your internal clock using nothing more than light and darkness. Why? Because light is your body's strongest signal to align its sleep-wake rhythm. But many seniors spend their days indoors, missing morning sun, and their nights bathed in blue light from TVs and iPads. Here's what to do. Step outside for just 15 minutes between 7 and 9 a.m. Let natural light touch your eyes, even on cloudy days. In the evening, turn off screens 1 hour before bed. Switch to warm, amber lighting. Use blackout curtains to create true darkness while you sleep. Linda, 68, from Ohio, tried just 2 of these changes. Within 2 weeks, she was sleeping 7 hours straight for the first time in 4 years. Second, care for your gut, your second brain that quietly controls your sleep. Here's something many people don't realize. Almost 80% of your sleep hormone, melatonin, is made not in your brain but in your gut. But as we age, that system can break down quietly. Imagine your gut like a peaceful garden. Over time, small irritations like stress, poor food, or aging can scatter weeds across it. You may not feel pain, but those weeds stop the garden from blooming. That's what scientists call inflammation, and it can block the chemicals your body needs for deep, restful sleep. The good news: you don't need fancy supplements or hard-to-find ingredients. Just add a few gentle foods from your local Walmart or Kroger, a ripe banana, a bowl of plain oatmeal, a handful of almonds, a glass of warm milk. Think of these as fertilizer for your gut's good bacteria. They keep your digestion calm and help your sleep signals stay strong. Also, eat dinner early, before 7 p.m. Avoid spicy, greasy, or sugary meals at night. Cut off caffeine and alcohol after 2 p.m. Even one small glass of wine can quietly disturb your deep sleep. Charles, 74, from Florida, made just 2 swaps. He traded his nightly wine for warm milk and switched dinner to 6:30 p.m. within a week. He stopped waking up at 2 a.m. to use the bathroom and said he felt lighter, steadier, and finally rested. Now, let's help your body work by day so your mind can rest by night. Why does this matter? Because when your body hasn't moved enough, your brain won't feel ready to shut down. Seniors often feel mentally tired but not physically sleepy. Here's what helps. Just 10-20 minutes of movement each morning. Light walking, gardening, or tai chi can restore your natural fatigue rhythm. Avoid exercising after 5 p.m., which may keep you too alert. And before bed, practice the 4-7-8 breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. It slows your heart and activates your parasympathetic nervous system, nature's sleep switch. Evelyn, 66, practiced this nightly for 3 weeks. She said, "It's like I found a switch that turns me off gently. I no longer lie awake fighting sleep." Fourth, create a bedtime ritual so your brain knows the day is over. Why? Because the brain needs clear signals to shift from alertness to rest. Without a calming pattern, it stays confused and awake. Choose 2-3 simple actions before bed. Wash your face. Apply lavender oil. Read a physical book. And avoid anything that excites your mind. No news, no work, no health research after 8 p.m. Thomas, 70, used to watch the news every night. He switched to soft classical music and now he floats into sleep with ease. And if sleep still doesn't come, don't force it. Shift the stage. Why? Because tossing and turning trains your brain to associate bed with frustration, not rest. Instead, after 20 minutes of lying awake, get up. Go to another room. Read a page, stretch, listen to slow music. Only return to bed when your eyes begin to close on their own. This technique comes from CBTI, a proven approach used by sleep doctors that teaches your brain to sleep naturally again, without pills. It's like gently retraining your mind to trust bedtime again, the most effective therapy for chronic insomnia in seniors, according to Harvard Medical School in 2023. Small habits, gentle shifts, but together they can rebuild the sleep your body remembers, without pills, without struggle, just peace. Let's return to Susan, the woman who once dragged herself through mornings, exhausted despite a full night's sleep. After our first consultation, I didn't prescribe any pills. I simply asked her 3 questions. Do you still notice the sunrise each morning? Are you eating dinner like someone rushing through the day or like someone giving thanks for it? And do you still wait for sleep like an old friend, or has it become just another switch to flip at night? She didn't answer right away. Then quietly she cried. Not because of the questions, but because, for the first time, someone had truly seen her. 2 months later, Susan returned to my clinic, holding a bundle of dried lavender and a sleep journal in her hand. She had written down every small choice. The morning she walked, the night she dimmed the lights early, the evening she meditated before bed. And beside those notes, one simple phrase: "These are the mornings I felt alive again." She looked at me and smiled. I'm no longer afraid of the night. I welcome it like an old companion. You see, sleep is not the end of a day. It's the beginning of recovery, of renewal, of a brighter tomorrow. Whether you're 60, 70, or 80, it's not too late to reclaim your nights. You don't have to accept fatigue as a symptom of aging. You can still experience deep, unbroken, nourishing rest. The kind of sleep that lets you wake up and feel yourself again. So tonight, try just one small shift. Turn off the lights 30 minutes earlier. Step outside and greet the morning sun. Write down one quiet thought before you sleep. Because better sleep doesn't just help your body, it helps your mind stay sharp for the things you love. Playing with your grandkids, gardening with ease, or finishing that novel you started last fall. You don't have to change everything. Just begin. And if something in today's story touched you, share it. With a spouse still tossing at midnight, a neighbor up before dawn, a child caring for an aging parent. Start with one small act tonight, because you deserve to wake up with a smile.